All right, welcome to this awesome training, my wonderful good-looking people. And I'm going to show you a skeleton in this training for like a framework for how to sell your 1 to 10K per month packages without a phone call, without a proposal, without even chasing people in any way, using a simple Loom video. And this will be especially useful to you if you're in a situation where you're getting sales calls already and people are jumping on the phone with you and you're finding you're spending a lot of the day doing phone calls. You can actually go to just like this, where you send somebody a Loom video, they say, love this idea, let's do it. That's the whole sale right there, that whole thing. And so, you know, when you're first starting out, it usually sounds really awesome if you could just have people to jump on the phone with who are interested in buying your stuff. Well, you know, I remember going to German school and then having 8 hours a night of strategy sessions, and it's hard to raise a family and do anything else if you're constantly on calls. So this tremendously frees up time, and here's the kicker that's actually hard to grasp your head around, but when you do it this way, you actually make more sales, and it's more enjoyable for the customer. So let me show you the framework. Let's just get into it. Oh, I just want to show you really quickly. This is my actual own stuff, people. This is all they do. You send the video, 10 minutes later, they say, sounds good, let's do it. That's the whole sale. And you know, typically we'll, we might jump on the phone for 5 minutes to just finalize the credit card and those kind of details, or send them an email and a payment link, depending on how you roll with it. So the step one part of your Loom video is the demonstration. And there's a really good story that kind of illustrates this. I remember reading about a guy in Florida who sold hurricane-proof windows for this big window company, and he was the #1 salesperson in the company, and he was like outselling #2 and #3 by like orders of magnitude. So he's like far and away #1 in the company. And they asked him, like, how do you sell these windows so well? And a lot of times, you know, what they were doing is they were trying like closing techniques and sales copy and messaging, and his methodology was far more simpler, where he just said, and I'm doing my best redneck here, where he says, we just grab this window here and we smash it with a hammer. And then I say, see, hurricane-proof windows. And so in a matter of 5 or 10 seconds, he created a demonstration that got so to the point so quickly that the sale was made in a matter of seconds. So to give you an illustration of how most people are doing this horribly wrong, the demonstration part, I actually was just searching for a custom bobblehead last night for a client of mine. Long story. And this is what most people are doing, right? So I'm looking for a bobblehead, and what I want to know is, can you make one that looks like the guy that I'm trying to send it to? And I'm getting messaging like polymer clay and 100% handcrafted, free proofing, amazing likeness and quality, handmade, time 3 business days fastest. And honestly, I don't really know what polymer clay at 100%, like why that means something to me. I think he's trying to tell me that they last longer or that they're better. But this is the guy I actually bought from, or the website, I should say, it could be a gal, the company. It's really, really simple. It was like a demonstration that I got really, really quickly. This is hitting your windows. Turn your 2D memories into 3D works of art for 35 bucks. And I could visually see them. And that was it. They hit the window for me. It didn't need a long-winded presentation, right? But there's a lot that goes into that demonstration. Here's another one, by the way, that I didn't go with. I just opened the top 3 websites on Google. Become a satisfied customer, right? Happiness guaranteed. Your satisfaction guaranteed. But the guy or the person who actually got the sale was the one who could give me the demonstration of what it is that actually is going to get made. So that's the first thing you want to think about. Now, the second thing is what I call the master plan. And actually, this is the biggest reason that people get objections and pushback on this stuff. I'd say the big 3 is they leave it a mystery how they're actually going to deliver results. So you see a lot of like secret method, proprietary system, proven process. And we think that sounds really cool to customers and clients. But more often than not, it actually creates doubt in our ability to deliver it and creates confusion. Nobody really understands what you mean by your secret trading method and your proprietary system. So one of the things that we do in our videos that are a little bit different is we just show them a simplified map. Here's how we're going to get you to the pot of gold. And we don't get into the nitty gritty and the details. This is a 30,000 foot plane view, but we're just saying, in order to to get you there, we would need to do these couple of things. And by the way, most of the video is going to be spent on this part. The plan is explaining how you actually do what you do and how you're going to deliver those results. You demonstrate it really quickly and then show them how your plan's going to work. And I'll tell you a big secret is one of our secrets for doing these Loom videos is we just listen and we take good notes, or we record our sales calls, and then we parrot those things back. So all of our copy and our messaging actually written by the client. It's just so simple it works. And I'll give you 2 examples here. So I put these notes in just so I remember what I meant. And one of the ones I was doing for this actual helping other agency owners, one of the person told me, I feel like I have a glass ceiling on my income because I think he was between 5 and 10 clients, and he was maxed out on time, but you know, how do you get more money if you're maxed out on time? So I wrote that in the damn video, or added it to the video. Do you feel like there's a glass ceiling on your income? I don't try and reinvent the wheel. So this is actually the easiest messaging you'll ever write because it's written by your actual clients. And here's one that we were just working on last night in our mastermind group. The person said on the call that, hey, I want somebody who can be like a marketing extension of my business and be proactive, because what I really enjoy doing, and this was an e-commerce business, by the way, I really enjoy developing products and caring about my customers. And I don't really want to do marketing and sales at all, but I hire these people and I end up just getting a contractor who doesn't really care. And half the time I feel like I know better than the agency I just hired. So when we're positioning that, it's really easy to say, hey, we're like more like a marketing extension that is a proactive extension of your business so that you can like do what you do, like develop products. We're not just a contractor that's, you know, trying to pick up a retainer check every month. Actually, there's one more thing I want to show you. I'm just going to stop screen share for a second and show you my face. Ooh. It's a Thursday in Germany here. So if you, by the way, if you're doing sales calls and you got something like this where you either have notes or recordings of the calls or bullet points of the things that are coming out, you already have this next part covered, and you just need to like properly organize it in a good way. So I'll go back to the screen share. There you go. You guys can see me in there too. Okay. So the biggest thing that that makes these videos fall apart if you do the first 2 things right is that people do all this work and then they get to an offer and the offer sucks. And in fact, I see this so much. Here's an example. We do Facebook ads. That's an offer that a lot of people are rolling with right now. Well, you know, because I've been in this long enough, if you said we do Facebook ads 8 years ago, it would be like the equivalent of saying now we do TikTok ads. You'd be a very unique person. But today, there's 4.2 million websites. And here's another one. You need SEO? We do SEO. Well, so does everybody else, right? So this is the biggest reason why people can't convert without a call, and why they need to chase and do the proposals and all those things, and why they can't just send a simple video. So I'm not picking on anybody in particular, but these were just a couple examples of bad offers that I'm seeing other agency owners put out there. This is a little mix between Facebook and LinkedIn. This guy, I'm your friendly neighborhood consultant. I'll generate you leads. Like, that's as generic and blah as it gets. And I'm sure he's actually a good guy with good delivery. Like, I'm not picking on him in particular, but the offer is horrible. Common objections you faced in your business. Again, like not such a that doesn't make me want it. How do you and your team respond to change? Like, change is such a big, vague, abstract word. I don't even know what he means. 3 things your team needs for effective results. What kind of team? What does effective results mean, right? Like, it's very unspecific. You are a small or middle-sized investor. You like to earn good profits, right? I don't know what this guy means. Guide to successful SEO content marketing. This one isn't necessarily horrible, but it's, you know, there's so many other people doing that exactly the way he's doing it. This is the one I called the menu, where it's like, we do everything. Are you unable to compete with your competitors? Well, we do everything. By the way, we do everything is a recipe for being broke. So don't be the we do everything guy. And this is somebody actually in the group on Facebook, so I censored his name. I'm looking to help fellow entrepreneurs reduce their workload while increasing productivity, allowing you to earn more. Comment below if interested. Again, entrepreneurs is a big word that means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And you know, without even knowing what their workload is, it's lacking a whole bunch of meaningful specifics. Didn't want to show you all the bad ones. This is one in a group that I really liked. This is a guy named Josh Turner, and I actually think he puts out a lot of good offers if you wanted to see it done well. He's usually somebody to kind of model. But here was a post I saw, and this came out 3 months ago, but this was, everybody was doing Zoom, right? All of a sudden, and he was saying, creating high impact, high profit virtual events. Everyone's doing a virtual event. Here's a problem. Either you don't make a big impact or you don't make a profit. Here's my free training. And he literally had hundreds and hundreds of people signing up for this thing. It's because it's a good offer, by the way, at least in my opinion, anyway. So I just want to remind you, when you do it this way, when you do the dramatic demonstration, and then you lay out your plan for how you're going to get results, and then you have like a really good offer, you don't get all the usual pushback. It's like, hey, I love this idea. Let's do it. That's it. That's the whole sales process. And a lot of times it's taking the messaging you already got on your sales call and converting it into a good offer. So again, here, sounds good. Let's do it. Just want to show you another one. Love this idea. Yes, this is what we're looking for. So I just want to quickly answer questions that I know some of you at least may have. Biggest question I get asked on this over and over is like, what's the conversion rate on this? And I'm telling you, it's not apples to apples, oranges to oranges. They're two different things, and I'll tell you why. Because we don't realize this, but a lot of people don't like sales calls. Count me in them, actually. I don't like having to do sales calls just to get a little bit of information. And so I actually had this come up, looking to hire some virtual assistants, and I reached out to a guy who had them, and I said, I'm looking for these like 4 or 5 things. Do your people do those 4 or 5 things? And he said, why don't we schedule a time and jump on a sales call and do all those things? And I'm a busy dad with 2 parents, and I'm literally recording this as my babies are asleep, right? So for me, to spend 45 minutes and not even know if he offers at the end what I do, that's just a waste of time. And more than likely it'll be 90 minutes, and I just don't want to do that. So I say no to a sales call. So what happens, you'll notice, you might, if you do it the old-fashioned way when you're reaching out or you're running ads or however you're generating, you're on Upwork, it doesn't really matter. You might generate, on average, doing it that way, 10 people that are okay with doing a sales call, and you might close half of them and end up with a 50% conversion rate. And so people high-five themselves on the 50% conversion rate. But here's the interesting thing. If you reach out to people and they don't have to jump out on the phone with you, and by the way, the infomercial companies have been doing this testing for hundreds of years. They found if you have to call and talk to an operator and be sold, that dramatically lowers conversions. But if you can call an automated number and just put in your ordering information without having to deal with a human and make those decisions yourself, raises dramatically the number of people who will raise their hand. So what ends up happening with this is because they only have to say yes to watching a video, not to, am I going to jump on a sales call and potentially work together and arm twist it? And they can find out all the information, including the price, by the way. You get 100 people for every 10 that'll jump into a sales call. So like easily 10 times as many people will say, yes, I'll watch a video. And typically you'll convert about 15% of them, which means you'll come out of it with 15 people. So when I tell people that your closing rate will be 15%, and they say, well, I'm already closing 50% now. And I say, yeah, but you're going to end up with 3 times as many sales. There's actually a couple other benefits too, is people like being sold this, especially busy, successful professionals. They don't have fucking time for hour-and-a-half sales calls, multiple sales calls, presentations, follow-up proposals. Like they just want to know, like really quickly, do you have something that can help me or not? And by really working hard on that format, on the demonstration, the plan, and the offer, and getting those 3 fundamentals just absolutely right, you can go from stranger to 5 minutes later, hey, I'm in, let's do this. So I wanted to show you that question because it's a good question, but it's, again, you got to understand, more people will raise their hand for a video, 10 times as much to say, yeah, I would watch a video, than would say, I'm ready to jump on a sales call with you. Let's talk for 45 minutes. And in my experience, the busiest, most successful people, especially true, because they don't have an hour and a half. Like, my big objection to that guy was not, he may think, oh, I'm not qualified to hire his virtual assistants, but it's actually the opposite. It's like, I just don't have time to sit for an hour and a half. If at the end of it, you're going to tell me what you do doesn't even help me, or the price is going to be so outrageous. So like, I would like to know those details before we even talk. And so what ends up happening is, when you do it this way, either you will go directly to the sale, or you will, instead of having a 90-minute phone call, you'll have a 5-minute strategy session that they basically just say to you, either one of two things will happen. They'll say some form of like, well, what do we need to do to get started? Or they'll have one last question. They'll say something like, well, here's my situation. Will this still work for me? And you can either tell them yes or no. So that's it in a nutshell. It's I know it's like 3 steps, but you got to like really, really nail the fundamentals to make that work. And also, by the way, if you're interested, we're going to be doing a workshop about this. So if you want to like getting some help nailing in the specifics of your 5-minute Loom video, let me know, and I will send you an invite, which is just another Loom video with some details that you can watch, so you can actually see this whole thing done. If you'd be interested in seeing that, let me know. But what we're going to be doing, and this will be especially useful for you now if you're getting sales conversations and you're selling people on the phone, but it's just like taking up lots of time, and the chasing and all that is like kind of not fun. So we'll take you from sales call, and you go in the middle here, the section which is hanging out with us on Zoom, and dial in your stuff in, and we'll do it until you get it where people just say, hey, I love this, I want it. That's it. And then you do all your selling from a free 5-minute software, and life gets a whole lot easier. And I know that can probably, if you feel like your sales calls are necessary, I'll tell you, in my experience, it's actually because to formalize the offer takes you 90 minutes. And the minute you understand like the offer making piece, you don't have to do all that on the phone. You just don't. You can actually like lead with that up front and just tell them what it is, and it works. So if you'd like an invite for that, just send me a private message on Facebook, and I'll leave a link for that. Or if you're watching this replay on YouTube, you can just send a private message to this channel and let me know, and I'll send you an invite to the Loom document. And again, it's just a video. There's nobody who's gonna like sell you a picture or anything like that. So if you'd like some details on that, let me know. But I hope that was useful to you guys. So I'm gonna end the recording here, and may the force be with you.